Hey friend, welcome to my channel Karinealourde, where we deep dive and break down the most iconic stars in history. If you're not yet subscribed, please be sure to do so and turn your notifications on so you never miss an upload. Now let's get into this video. Did you guys know that one of our famous original supermodels passed away on January 11th, just a few days ago? I'm shocked that I wasn't even well aware of this. I've been taking breaks from social media since the new year because it just seems like every time I log on, someone new has passed away, or there's like tragedy all over the world. You have floods in California, tornadoes in the middle of the night, plane crashes. It's just been so much. And for my mental health, I've been limiting how much I scroll down. I'll go on my Instagram just to post a reel or something, and then I head out. It's just been a lot. So I was not aware this beautiful soul passed away, and she is such a beautiful soul, and she's been on my list for so long, and now I just feel so bad. Like, it's important for us to give flowers to people while they are still here. Patitz died of breast cancer in Santa Barbara, California at the young age of 56. For those who don't know her too well, in the 1980s and 1990s, German model Tatjana Patitz appeared in Elle, Harper's Bazaar, and Vogue. She was one of 5 supermodels in George Michael's 1990 music video Freedom, and worked with Herb Ritts and Peter Lindbergh on editorial, advertising, and fine art projects. My favorite quote from her is, "I don't want to do anything for fame or money or glamour or anything like that. I think people are coming to a higher awareness in the world. Everything is polluted, the oceans, the forests, and people are killing each other all over the place without realizing that we all belong together and have to share this place. Maybe I'm dreaming, but I'm hopeful," end quote. This is what she said to Model Magazine on December 1989, and she was just really that girl. Nigel Barker reviewed Patitz's career during the height of the supermodel era in the 1980s and 1990s in his book Models of Influence, 50 Women Who Reset the Course of Fashion, writing that she possessed an exoticism and broad emotional range that set her apart from her peers. In her 2012 memoir, Vogue creative director Grace Coddington referred to Patitz as one of the original supermodels, a must in photographs and on catwalk. According to Harper's Bazaar, Patitz's features are almost intriguing. The unexplainable gifts of line and luminescence, like those of Greta Garbo or the Mona Lisa, defy definition. Anna Wintour, the editor-in-chief of Vogue, stated that Patitz has always been one of her favorite models. Patitz's work bridged the exhibitionist 1980s and minimalist 1990s in an enduring way, with Barker concluding, "The most lasting images of her are when she was really looking like herself," end quote. Patitz, according to author Linda Siverstein, is largely responsible for establishing the acceptance of statuesque and curvaceous beauty in an industry dominated by extreme thinness. In another 1988 Vogue article titled Tatjana $1 Million Beauty, Patitz's creative team shared their impressions of her, saying, "In pictures, her sensitivity is what comes through. Something delicate, fragile, exciting. It's a strange mixture of lazy sensuality and moments of intense emotion," said John Casablancas, president of Elite Model Management. "It's hard to get a bad picture of Tatjana. She's very photogenic, which is very rare, and she looks different in every light," added photographer Patrick Demarchelier. "While some models develop one look, she has many." Britain's Sky magazine called Patitz the first German supermodel and noted that her success led the Elite agency to open a branch in Germany. Patitz was a longtime animal lover who rode horses competitively and advocated for environmental protection and animal welfare. Her domestic architecture and interior design in her adopted home state of California were praised all over the world for their eclectic bohemian style. Patitz, who was a vegetarian, also shared her philosophy about growing older in the beauty, fashion, and entertainment industry, saying, "I am proud of my wrinkles. I worked for each one and they belong to me. Growing older is beautiful. You become wiser and more mature. For me, giving away or changing that gift is not an option. Beauty means being a good person and being there for others. In my opinion, beauty is not only about looks, but everything that makes up a person," end quote. A few things that inspire her are art, music, good friends, children, and animals. She said, "I'm happiest in the ocean, in the natural world." When asked how does she like to unwind, she said, "Going for a walk in nature, baths, meditation, listening to music, and taking time to dream and be in solitude. I am definitely someone who needs to be alone to recharge." Her female hero is Maya Angelou, stating that she loves her wisdom. Let's jump into her childhood real quick before we get into her career. Tatjana Patitz was born in May 25th, 1966. Patitz was raised in the Swedish town of Skanor after moving there as a child from the birthplace of Hamburg, West Germany. Her German father worked as a travel journalist, so the family was able to move around a lot. Patitz's mother was an Estonian dancer who worked at the Parisian Lido. Patitz's mother was a student touring with a modern dance company when she and her future husband met at a wine tasting in a bodega in Spain. Patitz has said that her parents' romance is a classic example of two people falling in love and spending the rest of their lives together. Patitz started writing when she was 7 years old. She would spend her summers relaxing at the family's holiday home on Mallorca, where she would go to horse camp. Patitz stated this about her affinity for horses, saying, "Even as a little child, I was already writing. For me, it means freedom, connectedness, and dedication. Horses have the unique ability to alleviate my anxiety and tension. Sincere and deeply religious, they are an inspiration. If I'm feeling stressed out or anxious, listening to them always puts me at ease and brings me joy." When asked if she always wanted to be a model, she said, "No. I was taller than everyone else, and as a child, you want to blend in. I was sort of geeky, not popular with the boys, so it came as a surprise to me at 14 when a local photographer entered me into Elite Models Look of the Year contest. One thing led to another, and I went to Paris and shot for French Vogue." After winning a modeling contract and relocating to Paris, Patitz started her career in the industry. Although Patitz's career did not take off immediately, she was consistently working by 1985, and by the end of that year, she had landed her first significant cover for British Vogue. Also that year, she began to work with photographer Peter Lindbergh, with whom she cultivated a 30-year collaborative relationship, which contributed to the launch of the supermodel era. In his book, 10 Women, Lindbergh wrote, "I admire Tatjana because she always stays herself. She's very soft, but at the same time, she's very strong and knows how to stand up for what she thinks, and it's always very enriching to be with her. It's impossible not to admire her, and over the years, not to be just a little bit in love with her." End quote. Patitz's success in Europe, which included an editorial for the 1985 September issue of French Vogue by master photographer Horst P. Horst, led her to New York City, where she worked for American Vogue and such photographers as Irving Penn, Helmut Newton, Steven Meisel, Denise Piel, Sheila Metzner, and Wayne Mazer. She also worked with Gilles Ben-Simon at Elle and Francesco Scavulo at Cosmopolitan. In 1989, she graced not one, but 2 covers of the Italian edition of Vogue, and she was frequently featured in editorials in the American and British edition of the magazine. Patitz was featured in an ad campaigns shot by Bruce Weber for Calvin Klein and by Richard Avedon for Revlon's The Most Unforgettable Women in the World campaign in 1987. As a matter of fact, Avedon shot Patitz for her debut cover of American Vogue, which is widely considered to be one of the decade's most iconic magazine covers. As early as 1987, Patitz's name began appearing alongside her face in Vogue magazine editorials, introducing her to the magazine's readers and helping them to associate her with the brand. What immediately strikes me about her is her extraordinary kindness and her star quality, stated photographer Antoine Verglas. As Patitz rose in the fashion industry, she was hailed for broadening standards of feminine attractiveness. Patitz and a handful of other strikingly unique professional, savvy, and prominent fashion models gained notoriety and became the first supermodels. It was not all fun and games with all the demands of being a high-profile model. Patitz was in such high demand that she had to constantly travel to meet with clients, eventually taking 40 flights in a single month. That is so annoying, guys. I took 6 flights in 1 month and just was ready to die. So I can't imagine. She also spoke on the hectic chaos of the runway, saying, "I never liked the catwalk season much. When you're doing 6 to 8 shows a day, it's stressful. You're up until 3 in the morning for fittings, then up again at 7. You're sleep deprived, and the tension is really high. My makeup was taken off and put on again so many times that by the end of the season, my face would be red raw. I am sometimes amazed that I still have hair on my head." Patitz decided to cut down her modeling career so that she could devote more time to other creative endeavors like writing, acting, and meditation. She packed everything and moved to Los Angeles, California. Patitz, who has always sought opportunities for personal development, particularly in the areas of creativity and spirituality, was able to do so thanks to the freedom offered by the relocation. She settled in Los Angeles and continued to manage her modeling career while studying acting. Los Angeles-based photographers Philip Dixon and Matthew Ralston also frequently photographed Patitz for Harper's Bazaar. Ralston said of Patitz, "I look for more than beauty. There must be a memorable quality. Tatjana has it more than anyone else. She sticks in your mind. There's a depth of emotional quality to her that's truly extraordinary. She's very dear, charming, and extremely feminine. She's very open, and her priorities are natural things. Animals, the sea, the environment. That's what's so interesting about her. She's not what she seems," end quote. Throughout the 2000s, Patitz modeled for illustrious designers like Chanel, Versace, Salvatore Ferragamo, Valentino, Karl Lagerfeld, Helmut Lang, Donna Karan, Jean-Paul Gaultier, and Vivienne Westwood in ad campaigns and on the runways of their respective brands. Specifically, Patitz was Jill Sanders' iconic spokesperson for many years. As of 1997, Patitz had appeared on over 200 magazine covers worldwide, including 7 covers of American Vogue and 13 covers of British Vogue. French, Italian, German, Spanish, and Australian editions of Vogue have also featured Patitz on their covers and in editorial photographs. Patitz continued to be an advocate for animal rights by filming a PSA in 2007 for orangutan outreach and appealing for the protection of orangutans in the rainforest of Borneo, Indonesia. In the 2010s, the scope of Patitz's work focused on issues relating to inclusivity, HIV awareness, LGBTQ rights, ageism, and gender equality while remaining in the pages and on the covers of Vogue, Marie Claire, and Elle. Patitz appeared on the catwalk for the last time in 2019 after being diagnosed with breast cancer. Patitz married businessman Jason Randall Johnson in 2004, and they had a son, Jonah Johnson, who has appeared in editorials with his mother, including The Great Escape in the August 2012 issue of American Vogue and Family Matters in the December 2019 issue. In a 2019 interview for Mercedes-AMG 63rd magazine, Patitz said, "My son is my source of happiness in life. My friends, my animals, and nature give me balance and satisfaction, the feeling of being connected. I would like to send an empathetic person with a big heart out into the world. Jonah should always have the self-belief to be himself and to embody and articulate his own attitude and opinions, having compassion and care for everything that exists, for our planet, animals, nature, and people," end quote. Unfortunately, as previously stated, she took her last beautiful breath on January 11, 2023. I'd like to send out my well wishes to her son and her husband and everyone that she's ever touched. It seems like photographers alike, editors, and other supermodels always just had lovely things to say about her. She reminds me a lot of Christy Turlington. I did a video breakdown for Christy Turlington also. She was a 90s supermodel that she was named the most likable supermodel of the 90s. So I'll have Christy Turlington on the end cards also. You guys can check that out, where they're just very genuine. And you guys know me, if you follow me on Instagram, I'm always in nature, always traveling in the most naturally exquisite places that are just full of nature, animals, fresh air, mountains, rivers, and lakes. So I love that about Patitz. She was very into nature and just genuinely cared for the environment and just loved animals and just loved people and remained very grounded despite everything. She looked like she just preferred a more natural world than the glitz and glam of Hollywood and the runway and things like that. Just a very beautiful soul, and it's so unfortunate to pass away at 56. That's just very, very young. She had so much more life in her. And it's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate, right? Wow. But if you guys like the music you're listening to, the link is in the description. Support my brother, and also comment below what other 90s models would you guys like me to add to the list for future breakdowns. Comment below who else would you guys like also that don't necessarily have to be 90s models. Send her nothing but well wishes and warm hugs in the comments. I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time.